Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the winter edition of the tool haul. About 2 weeks ago we had 3 times as much snow, and it was 10 degrees below zero. Today it's around 35 and nice enough to do a video. Pretty excited about this one. If you remember back to the Miller Falls new old stock video, this is a box full of new old stock tools made by Utica. 48 pounds of tools, there's 106 items, and I paid $1,400 for what's in this box. And if you recall watching the Miller Falls video, I had only had a description of what I bought. I did not have pictures, so I don't know if these will be in their boxes, on cards. I don't know if they're just going to be loose and bagged up. Hoping for the best. So let's see what we got. So there's a receipt for 106 items. $14.82.10 was the total. So it's around $14 an item. So I'm hoping they're good because that's a lot to pay per piece. All right, so this is what it looks like when I open the top of the box. I'm going to take everything out and then we'll start going through it. Okay, so this is everything in the box. Not that much. Only 2 boxes to go through, and then the ones that were at the top here. Okay, and that first bag had 3 items. This one's marked UA200, and that matches the other 2 boxes. So I'm guessing all 3 are the same. Now these do say division of Kelsey Hayes. I believe Kelsey Hayes bought them out in the 1950s, like around 55, 56. So these tools, well, at least the ones we're looking at first, are at least 1956 and newer. This one is marked Utica Bonnie, which I think would be even a newer version. I don't know how long they kept the Utica name, but I would say that these are definitely from the 60s or 70s. There's no barcodes or anything on these boxes. So let's crack one open and see what a UA200 power cutter looks like. All right, so this is a UA200 power cutter. Now the box says it's an air-activated wire cutter for high volume production. So I would imagine if air was hooked up to this, every time you push on this lever, the jaws would snip. So that's pretty interesting. The actual cutter head is marked with a B6, and I don't know if they've used that in other cutters or what, but very unique tool. Never seen anything like this one. All right, moving on to the next box. Have no idea what's in here. I see they have some markings on here. 10 times 3/8, and then on here there's another marking. I don't know what any of that means, so let's just pop it open. Okay, it's going to be screwdrivers. We'll just take one out here. So this is a flat tip Bonnie USA 010. Looks like that's the only markings on it. And I would say the shank on there is probably somewhere around 10 inches. So 3 old stock flat tip slotted screwdrivers. All right, next up we'll crack open one of these. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside the box once it's opened. I'll go ahead and unpack it and start going through it. So this is what everything looks like coming out of the box. Quite a bit of stuff in that one box. You can smell like the protective oil they must have been coated in at one time just by opening the box. So I'm going to start opening some of these bags. Okay, so here's what came out of that bag. These are all duplicates, so we'll just go through these 3. This one was inside the box. It's a 22-4.5. They're calling it a chain nose pliers. And I was worried about these being just the natural finish and sitting for so many years that it would be rusted, but I'm not really seeing any of that so far. Next up we have this number 22. It's a 5-inch, another chain nose pliers. So the first one was a 4.5. This is a 5. Not much difference there, but there is quite a bit thicker head on this one. And then finally in that box is a number 20 flat nose pliers. And there's that one. It's also marked 25, so I'm guessing that's also a 5-inch. Okay, I opened 2 more bags. The first one had 3 of these retaining ring pliers. And this one has a little screw in there so you can set the opening to a certain depth and hold it in place. And then in these longer boxes, we have these water pump pliers, tongue and groove pliers, whatever you like to call them. I can't quite make out. Oh, it's 507-10 is the number. So these are pretty cool. Very happy with those. So I mean, like I said, I did pay up $14 per item, but I think new old stock in the box, something like this, is definitely worth it to me. Some people might disagree. where this is definitely not worth $14 a piece. So hopefully there's more good than bad. Okay, I opened 3 more bags. There was 3 more of these snap ring pliers. There's 2 of these 10-inch slip joint pliers. And then there was 2 of these tongue and groove pliers that have, some people call it like a parrot head on it. I think these have like a really good grip when you put a lot of pressure on them. Okay, I opened 3 more bags. I think we have 4 different products here. First one, it says angle nose battery pliers. And of course that's what that is. Very happy that these are not corroded. Was definitely worried about, this area having rust on it after so many years. Obviously these were in a conditioned warehouse of some sort and not just left in a garage. Next up we have one of these, whatever it is. Okay, so it's a locking pliers. Now it says Bonnie here, but then behind that, who sees that diamond horseshoe sitting there? So I do believe that Diamond Horseshoe and Bonnie and Utica and her brand all eventually were under one name. It's kind of funny that this would have a sticker trying to say that it's Bonnie over the Diamond Horseshoe. I'm wondering if they were just trying to brand it as Bonnie until they phased out of the ones that had diamond on it, and then maybe they were stamped Bonnie down the road. But it's definitely a Diamond Horseshoe locking pliers, which I don't think I've ever seen before. And I actually collect Diamond Horseshoes, so I'm going to keep this one. The truth is I want to keep one of everything and eventually sell off the rest. The Miller Falls video I did over a year ago, I actually haven't put anything up for sale yet. But eventually I will sell off whatever's left after I take one of each. In this bag, obviously there was no box, so let me just go ahead and get the paper off of this thing real quick. Oh. Okay, in this one we have a Utica 260-7, and this is, I believe they call it a nipper. Again, very happy that there's no corrosion on this, seeing how old it is and seeing that this is just bare metal. And then finally there's these 2 boxes. Looks like they're the same. They weigh almost nothing. Oh, this is why. Look at those little guys. 729-4, I think that says. So a little, almost like a jeweler's pliers with a 45-degree nose on the end. Very cool. Okay, we have 3 more bags open. At first I thought these were more battery pliers, but it's calling them nut and bolt stud pliers, 528. So there you see what a 528 nut and bolt stud pliers looks like. I've got 3 of those. Moving on, we have these flat nose pliers. Okay, it's sort of like a needle nose with some people might call it a duck bill. I think I've got 3 of those. And we have 3 of these angle lock nut pliers, number 750. So this is an interesting looking pliers. I've never seen one before. Not sure what an angle lock nut pliers is for, but it's very unique looking. And I've got 3 of those. Okay, in the last 2 bags, we have 5 different types of pliers. These are duplicates over here. This first one up here is a 841. All of these are side cutters, diagonal pliers, dikes, whatever you'd like to call them. That's almost like a jeweler's size there. This is a 41-5 and a 41-4 and then a 42-4. Has a little different style nose on the end. Look at how thin that gets. And then finally we have a 45-6. And I think altogether there's about 11 pliers here. Okay, this is what this box looks like before unpacking it. Alright, this is everything out of that box before I unbag it. My fingers are frozen, but the reason why I keep doing this outside is because the lighting's better than anywhere in my house. So I'm going to keep pushing on. Let's see what we got in these bags. Okay, this is everything that came out of 3 bags. This stuff here is all duplicates. So starting over here, that's the part number on the box. No idea what's in here. and it's a little side cutters. I call all these side cutters. That might not be the correct term, but almost like another jewelry related tool. It's just it's so small. Very cool. I think I have 2 or 3 of those. I don't know what's in this little box. I'm guessing it's not a pliers. Well, let's see if it says here. Pneumatic cutting head. Okay. Maybe that's for that one of the power cutter that we opened before. Oh, it is, I think. No, that one said on it B6. Yep. So this is a replacement cutter head for that power cutter. I was kind of wondering what it looks like on the inside of that thing, and so I guess now I know. So I've got a couple of those. All right, moving on. We have an unmarked box. Oh, this is another nipper. This one has the handles on it. The other one was bare metal. All right, next up is this diagonal cutting pliers. It's a B5263. I don't know if that's focusing. I would consider this a jeweler's tool again. Very nice little tools. This one just says a special pliers, so we're going to see how special it is. Okay. Now it looks a lot like the one we had before. I think it is, maybe. It's a 5316. It's got that very narrow beak on the end of it. All right, next we have a wire stripping pliers. Okay, I've seen different versions of these, I think made by Miller. And then we have another diagonal cutting pliers. I don't think this is a duplicate. Or is it? It might be. Is it a 5316? So I do think this is the same as this one. I didn't catch that they were duplicates. That one fooled me with the special pliers mark. Okay, out of that next bag, first up we have this 241-5 side cutter, diagonal cutter. And we have a side cutting pliers, a 52-6. Looks a lot like a lineman pliers. This one here, 490, or no. This one here is an 894-4. That is a very unique looking pliers. I'm sure it has a special purpose. I just don't know what that is. Handle's a little grubby. And then finally out of that bag we have a 20-4 flat nose pliers. I think I've had... So this is a smaller version than the ones we've had already. Okay, moving on, we have these 3 needle nose. No number on this. These obviously don't have a box, but they're all 3 the same. Let's see, we have a 1033-7. Next up we have this 44-5. Little side cutting pliers. It's a 622-5. Says the chain nose pliers. Next we have this 47-4. Very small little pliers, little side cutters. So this is also a 47-4. So I guess they are basically the same pliers. Okay, we have 5 more variations and that'll be it for this one. Okay, now this looks the same as the one I had before. Well, this one does have a more polished finish on it than the other one did. I don't know if it's the same part number, but obviously a slip joint pliers, 3 of those. These are 1950-7C. Let's see if it gives a description. Heavy duty side cut pliers. Okay. Well, that just reminds me of alignment pliers, but 1950-7, red handle. Very nice looking pliers. Glad that it's not corroded. Alright, next is something too small for me to read. Okay, it's more of the locking pliers. Almost called it a vice grips. Now this one doesn't have that stamping underneath. It just has a sticker on it, which is hard to believe that they would just put a sticker on there, but that's what it has. Let's see what the other one looks like, if it's also just a sticker. It is. So if this had a lifetime warranty, I wonder how you prove it once that sticker is gone. Alright, moving on. More of the special pliers. I don't know if they're the same as the last special pliers. And they're not. So that's a 47056. Okay. That's a little different. I've never seen pliers that had that in it before. So if anyone knows what these special pliers are, please drop a comment below. I don't know if that's for crimping or what. I just never seen it in the pliers like that before. I've seen crimpers before in the top of the handle, but yeah, that's interesting. And then the last one up here, they're calling it a heavy-duty lineman pliers. And that's exactly what it is. See, now that one looks a lot like some of the other ones we've had. So I don't know if there's a specific thing that makes one a lineman pliers and one that is just called a heavy-duty side cut pliers. Because I don't see a lot of difference there, but... Oh, they're both 1950-7s, by the way. One has the handle on it, one of them doesn't. So, obviously these are also then lineman pliers, which I thought in the first place. So, 3 of those. So that's all for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.